Welcome. My name is Matt, aka RoadJedi88. We're getting into Territory Battle, or Star Wars Gods of Heroes Territory Battle. It looked like another Geonosis one. Yay! But this one is not the same as the other one that we've done. This one is the Republic Offensive. So before we were playing dark side characters, I believe this time we're playing light side characters. We're going to be the Republic Army in this. We start off with 3 tiers. Rear flank, rear flank, Count Dooku's Hangar, and Galactic Republic Fleet. So, they actually go ahead and open us up with the fleet, which is something that most of these don't do. So, let's go into that first battle. Nope, I can't do it yet. My ships don't meet all the requirements, which is crazy because I've been working hard on my ships. I'm just like one rarity steps away from being able to have anything accessible. Because believe me, I've been working on them. So, okay, so all I can do is deploy. I can look to see if there's any squadrons that I can load up to, but no. It's crazy that they call the fleets platoons, because I don't think that's what they would call them realistically. That's more of a ground troop thing. But anyways, it's Disney. I mean, that's why they got a fan war, because they don't know how to read books before they get started with, like, say, the sequel trilogy, or take Book of Boba Fett over the Mandalorian, or the Bounty Hunter Wars stories. So, looks like all I can do is deploy then. So, I'm just going to deploy. Alright, now let's move down and let's take a look. And I've been working on my Padme too. In fact, I just bumped her up earlier today. I do need to get mods on her. Where am I at with being able to snag anything? I'm not gonna have crystals to. I did a lot of building up earlier on other characters. A little bit on Padme, actually. She was a lower gear earlier whenever I was working on her. I did actually promote her gear tier earlier, but I don't think I'm going to be able to promote it much more than what I've done. Okay. So, I'm not going to be able to contribute to the special mission. One thing to remember about the Geonosis territory battles is that they are higher difficulty than that of the Hoth territory battles. They are the requirements, the expectations are on a higher scale. For 1, 2, the battles are higher difficulty battles. So there is a lot more going on here. Alright, so I can take a look, see which battles there are, and see what I have to contribute. Will you stop doing that? I'm trying to select on the battle. Jeez. Okay, so I have less characters to contribute to that one battle. Knock it off. Boy, the corner of the territory spots are oversensitive. Alright, and I don't quite have what I need there. Okay, so I got 2 battles. I might want to focus on first, just because I have the least amount of characters for them. What do I have here? Okay, Ezra pops up. What? No. Do I not have my Phoenix? No, so it's a Jedi thing. Which is crazy because Ezra has no part of the Geonosis battles in the TV series Clone Wars or in the Clone Wars movie or even Attack of the Clones. In fact, I don't think he's even been born yet. I might want to save her. Mace Windu and Ahsoka for 2 separate battles, given their position. So with that said, one of these battles is going to require low tiered characters. I'll just go ahead and knock that out. And this is based on my selection of characters. It's not going to be based on yours. Whatever you have built up in your character inventory is what you have to work with. So this is why I'm constantly pressing the idea of take the time to get to learn your characters, learn the mods, learn the different types of characters, learn the formula, the chemistry of putting a squad together and what you can expect can happen when you put one together. One second. I'm going to try to go to another room here. My hard-working wife from her graveyard shifts is trying to get her night-night in during that middle of the day. I'm wide awake because she needs that rest. Working at a hospital as a nurse in the middle of the night with people in need, it gets tiring. You never know what's going to happen either. I actually briefly worked in a hospital during my college years before I went on to my service work while I was doing Navy ROTC in college. I did a little work at a cardiac telemetry unit. Well, that territory battle sucked. Alright. Hopefully I can kind of bring more muscle to the party in the other territory battles. But honestly, that last territory battle with Geonosis, that was about what I expected to have happen in every single battle. I forgot. I didn't put Ahsoka in that other. Okay, well. I think I will hold on to her for another battle because we got two other ones to do. We'll go with this. But yeah, before I moved on with after college service work and then state corrections, where I retired my service work. Yeah, I briefly did with my wife. Almost, well, I was a unit clerk. She's a straight up nurse. But with what I saw and with the little bit I did, it is a stressful job working in the hospitals. I appreciate people who take on hospital work, helping sick people. You got a lot of needy people come through, but hey, let's be fair, the hospital is not a vacation spot. I spent the first 5 years of my life in and out of a hospital. It's not exactly a place, but a person just wants to crash out at. So, anyways, got 2 more battles. I may not be contributing much here. Jeez. Alright. Well, if I had known this, although I just barely had enough to even work those other two battles, I might have not had any choice. But I will run a Phoenix squad. I just hope between my Zeb and Chopper, I hope they don't kind of run down the squad. These battles, this almost feels like it's up on the deadly difficulty tier of battles in comparison. Yeah, see, because that last Geonosis battle, like, it was hard difficulty, but it was nowhere near like this. But I mean, I called it in the last one that the Geonosis battles they are the toughest. Hoth is a breeze, and no pun intended. So I'm basically not contributing any points so far. Jeez. My best efforts of contributing anything might be within platoons and deployment. And it may look like nothing, or not much at least, but a little something's better than nothing at all. And we need all the participations we can get. Slipping on a soaker, but see how this. I don't know. I might be better fit to contribute to the platoons as well as deployment. And if that's all I'm able to do, then that's all I'm able to contribute. But at least I still showed up to the party. So I've only been back at this game for a few months. Now, I had been on here 5 years ago. Believe me, if you're not doing the pay-to-play approach, it does take a while to build up these characters. It can take months, hell, years, actually, probably like over a year, to really get a good foothold with your characters. Now, they provided some new features since I was last here, like the lightspeed tokens. That kind of helps, but it also only does so much. I mean, as the game has continued to exist, they've added more features, they've added more difficulties. The more features they've added, the more difficulties they've added. The more difficulties they've added, the more requirements they've added. So there's more to add on to your character building. And that's been the case over the years with this game. They're just expanding on it. And it pushes for a challenge, kind of, I guess, their way of trying to keep the players playing instead of leaving the game. That's what, I guess you could say, that's what they're trying to do, is try not to lose their business with this game. So, I mean, it's a marketing stunt, I suppose, but alright, so at this point, I'm going to squad up platoons, as I pointed out before in the other ones, and coming from, as a veteran, a retired veteran, having started from the Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, which was high school, all the way up to my retirement of corrections work, being parts of squads, platoons myself, especially, in the boot camps and academies, stuff like that, but, and then moving on after that, obviously the environment kind of changes a little, but, the idea is you want your squads to be as skilled as possible. the more they bring to the table, the more strength your squad has, the more your platoon has to be able to dish out in a battle. If you're bringing fresh recruits right out of the academy into your platoon, there's still a lot they have to learn. There's a lot of building up they have to do. And if they're still not working on their awareness, they still have like some complacency issues, they risk kind of getting the squad in a pinch. And if not the whole squad or platoon, at least themselves. They risk getting themselves killed. And I really wish that the EA games would have a feature to the platoon aspect of the setup where they showed where they can show us, like, after we've set up these platoons, kind of how the battle looks like with these platoons going out fighting. Was our platoon strong enough to handle the fight that this was intended for, or do they get annihilated? Obviously, that's not what this is for. We are measuring up for this. That is what we are putting together for the platoons. We want to reach level 1, and it also affects the territory rarity reaches that we are pushing for. Level 1, deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict healing immunity for 2 turns. This attack can't be evaded. This ability starts on cooldown. Level 2, plus 25% damage and remove 10 stacks of droid battalion from all B1s and 2 stacks from the B2s. Well, that's great, but considering the difficulty level of this Geonosis, how many stacks are there? I mean, how big is this platoon that we're talking about, or this battalion? How big is this battalion we're talking about? Here for this particular battalion, they want us to put together platoons. We have to squad up our platoons. A battalion is formed by platoons. What forms a platoon? It is formed by squads. What forms a squad? Squad members. Squad members form up. The enlisted person, the enlisted officer, or whatever. They are the members of the people who formulate the squad, which formulates the platoon, which is all a part of a battalion. The whole battalion in an entirety. So, in squad situation or squad formations, battalion formations, there's I guess the best way to put it is like there's a chain of command concept. Even in that, like or a scale level, the overall is battalion. And as I said, what makes a battalion? Well, it's going to be the multiple different platoons. What puts together a platoon? A squad. When I was in the Navy, when I started as far back as the Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, we had 4 squads formulating the particular platoon that I was in. And I'm going as far back as when I was first learning about this. And what made a squad? Well, we had probably about, because this is high school. And I went to a pretty big high school. I was living in Houston during this. It was a big school, so we had a lot of students, and a lot of students means there was a lot of interest in doing the military. That's what the Navy, the NJRTC, or say the Air Force JRTC, the Marine JRTC, stuff like that, are for, it kind of gets the boot camp aspect of the military out of the way, so that when they get done with high school and if they carry on the ROTC program through college, depending on the college they go to, if they offer this program, they basically are cutting boot camp, and they can kind of go straight into the military at an officer's rank, cutting a lot of corners that if a person just simply went to the recruitment office and recruited for recruitment, well, they're going to start it. They're going to have to go through boot camp, and they're going to have to work their way up and a different approach, as far as a chain of command. So, for me, I cut the corners. Took out the Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, and my squad, we had 7 or 8 members. No, maybe 6. Probably about 6 members formulating that squad. For a platoon that had 4 squads in the platoon, that was one of probably a good dozen platoons formulating the school's battalion. So with that, they kept us in training. They kept encouraging us with after-school activities, so we can continue working on our skill sets. Sent us to Annapolis boot camp in Chicago, so we can be able to work up the ranks with ourselves individually. So when you have a platoon, you want your people to be the best that they can be. You want them trained. You want them skilled. And that's the way I see this. Yeah, we are going for different point concept. They are scoring a point concept here. And in the last couple of territory battles, it kind of looked like that you could still pull up into 3 rarities, slapping whatever characters you want on there. But in a realistic world, you want your people to be as skilled as you can have them formulating a platoon for your battalion. So that's the approach I'm going to go at it, because that is my mentality. It is a mentality I was trained and field experienced with. It's what makes the most sense. So, and like characters that are just kind of low gear tiered, they don't have a whole lot to contribute. They don't offer much. So, in my mind, putting those characters in feels like I'm creating a detrimental situation for the platoon, for that battalion. It might be all in my head with the way they operate this game, but it's kind of hard. I mean, it's one of the reasons I have PTSD. It's hard to break out of that real life reality of what the military was like, what the expectations were, and all that stuff. I mean, it is I wouldn't so much to say institutionalized, but in a form of it, maybe so. I mean, PTSD does come with being a little too locked in to a past experience or something that you almost can't just break out of. I mean, you're trying to. It's not with that. I mean, you got a lot of reasons to want to break out of it, but you're kind of stuck in it at the same time. It's like the brain just froze. It went into a glitch mode, basically. So I got Stormtrooper Han I can contribute there. Chewbacca, I still don't trust my Biggs and Tellys. But see, I almost wouldn't want to put anyone who's especially 11 gear tiered or lower. Especially for a Geonosian territory battle, I almost would not want to put those types of characters in a platoon like that. It feels unsafe. I know this is a game. I know this is not the real deal. I know. But again, retired veteran was a glitch in my brain. You call it institutionalized if you want. That's not exactly what it is, but it's just, Um, it, it just doesn't feel safe to be in a platoon with inexperienced officers. In fact, it's kind of scary. Um, but um, yeah, I mean, gear tier 12s, maybe, but I would almost hold those in reserve as last resort. And really, if we're in the last second of the countdown before we go to the next phase, if we just absolutely need to fill in the body spaces, then anyone else is last second reserve emergency fill-ins. That would be the way I would see it. But with that said, next phase is deployment. So we have two different ground assault territory spots for deployment. And dude, that's not what I was trying to do. One is for about a little over 86 million points, and the other is for 110 million. Well, gee, 86 is a lot closer. We're already getting our butts kicked, or I am. I have very little to contribute already within the platoons, as well as especially in the battles. Almost nothing for the battles. So this is probably, next to the platoons, this is probably my next best I can contribute to, and it's still not measured out much. But I want to go with rear flank. And I'm going to let my guild know. Let's recommend my suggestion. They don't have to go with it, but see, you have guild members that oftentimes don't participate because they don't know what we're doing. Give me just a second. Ah! I hate my keyboard. Boy, I'm so stressed about my damn keyboard I can't type. Alright, and again, I'm not an officer, I'm not a leader, but if I were one, my recommendation would be rear flank. You know, communicate with your fellow guild members, because, I mean, if you have an eye for something that maybe they don't, and they're trying to contribute, give them directions. Let them know, hey, maybe you check over here. Because, I mean, they may not have an eye for something. That's why people are asking, hey, what's the plan here? Yeah, you know, it's one thing to have too many chiefs and not enough Indians in village, but when you have too many Indians and no one's a chief, you got a real problem. You got to have a chief somewhere who can lead the village. So this would be Geonosis Republic Offensive. That'll be the video titles. I didn't know. I went blank because I was typing it in that keyboard. So, but it probably takes me about a good 30 minutes to get them uploaded from the point I get them recorded. So just kind of hang tight, you know, bear with me. In terms of any of my squad members that are watching these, I'm not going to do it for every single territory battle. I'm just catching one for each of the different types of territory battles. This is the first one to this particular one. I will try to catch, assuming I don't miss a day. This is 4 phases spread out in 6 days like the other one was. Hey, I was looking at something. Guild events. 4 phases in 6 days, yeah. So we have 6 days across 4 phases. I just got my butt whooped. We have officers, guild leader and guild officers, and other members who are muscled the heck up. They should have no problem running the special battles. They should have no problem filling in the platoons, and they should have no problem with some heavy deployment. As far as the rest of us that are kind of like, we're trying, you know, we have a little bit of a build-up process we have to go through. I've only been back for a few months. And I don't do the pay-to-play approach. So it's going to take a little bit of a process, you know. We may not come out of this successful. We're probably going to get beaten down a lot. But it doesn't have to be without an effort attempting to try. Okay? Just give it a shot. Give it your all. Give it the best you can. I mean, I'm pretty certain that this is a deadly difficulty battle. I mean, shoot. I had more success in the last Geonosis territory battle than I did this one. Do they mention the difficulty? I'm not seeing it anywhere. They don't give us the difficulties level on this. That's for, man, come on into this territory battle. We have a nice surprise for you. That's basically what they've done. Unless I'm overlooking it. Come on in. We have a territory battle. It's a special event. You'll love it. Walk yourself right into a trap or an ambush. Alright, well, I guess we're not going to get to know crap about what the difficulty on that was. But, yeah, Geonosis Republic offense for Geo Territory Battles and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comments and questions, suggestions down below. And thank you for following. May the Force be with us all.